Veach's track record on getting veteran wide receivers through trade is low, but in the case that we finally get one, we have a little special segment here on the rapid round, the yay or the nay on potential trade targets or signed targets for the Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver room.
Now, listen, there are some guys on here that are in Veach's range too, and there are some guys that we could just sign straight off the street as well. You know, a lot of varying differences here, but
some very likely, some not really likely at all. We have a pretty big mix. We threw a lot of names in there, so.
But you never know. Like, dude, with Kadarius Toney, we traded for Mecole Hardman before the deadline. We make trades. It's just maybe not the flashy one. Starting off with the wide receiver that everybody has been mocking us to getting is Amari Cooper. Yay or nay, Garrett? Do we like that one? I would be.
I mean, it's more of a yay than a nay. You know, I think he's been playing okay in Cleveland. I don't know if it's because of quarterback play or just kind of like adjusting to a new area, but I think some other guys on this list I would like more. So it's definitely more of a yay than an A, but I'll go yay.
I think yay too. He's 30, not terribly old, but I just don't see Veach going for such a veteran wide receiver. He is one of the cheaper options. I think he only has like a $1 million cap hit, which is insane.
It's like 900,000, I think.
Well, so that's very gettable. He leads the league in drops, but that could be Deshaun Watson's fault. Moving on.
Good.
Diontae Johnson.
Yay.
Yay.
Big yay.
I love Diontae Johnson.
Yeah, Veach, he was a target before with Veach, so I would not be surprised at all if he was continuously sought after from our top office. He's been really, really good for him, and I think might be a sneaky pick for a good replacement. So
yeah,
and definitely also, a yay.
He's the final year of his contract, which is excellent news, you know, for the Panthers getting rid of him. Panthers love to sell players at a loss for some reason, even though they just traded for him. I don't
even
think
if they have the money
out.
You know,
yeah,
they just don't like paying their guys.
So. And Diontae Johnson fits the Veach age range of like, I think 28's about the age of when Veach starts to.
Yeah.
Davante Adams. I love this.
But it's obviously a yay. It's never going to happen. I know he just requested a trade today, according to some sources. But the Raiders, we haven't played them at all this season yet. So if Veach calls them up and is like, hey, let me get your star wide receiver so that he can still possibly play against you for 2 games. It's never going to happen.
No. And I mean, I want it to happen, but
it'd be a perfect scenario, but it's never going to happen. But yay.
Keenan Allen.
No, that's a nay. I'm not a fan. He's already injured enough, and I just don't think he's the kind of guy that we need on the team.
I think I could see him getting moved, but at this point, I think he's such an eh. I don't have an opinion. If we got him, I'd be like, okay, sure. But it doesn't seem like a Veach move at all. And I think he is too expensive and too injury prone and old to be
it's a nay
replacing.
For me for sure.
Christian Kirk.
Yay!
Expensive,
but he plays well. So
he does.
And you know, has he been playing as well as he has been lately? No.
The last 2 weeks he has been. He has he has 10 plus targets in each game. So he's figured it out a little bit.
But will that also move the price up for the Jaguars getting rid of him? Probably.
And the Jaguars are terrible. So I could see them being sellers soon. They just got Brian Thomas and they just paid Gabe Davis. So Christian Kirk could be on the move. I would be so yay for this if we could negotiate a contract reduction in terms of like the Jags pay for some of it, which
I agree.
I don't know. How willing are some teams to trade with the Chiefs versus not? That's
very unwilling. From the draft, we can tell. Very unwilling. But yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Really, really controversial pick amongst the Chiefs organization and Chiefs fans. For me, personally, it's a yay. And my reasoning behind this being, he is probably one of the few veteran wide receivers out there that can still play at a high level, as well as learn a new offensive scheme quickly. Because the biggest problem with Chiefs wide receivers coming to the Chiefs and not having known that kind of playbook before is that, as Andy Reid likes to say, we get a lot of people the ball, and to be able to put you in that situation, you got to know all the routes and all the schemes, right? Absolutely. We have a really big playbook. And a guy like D-Hop, he could probably pretty easily pick it up and get out on the field quicker than some of these guys that we've mentioned before. So for me, it's a yay.
For me as well, yay. DeAndre Hopkins is QB proof and has proven that in Houston. He kind of paved the way for what Justin Jefferson is now. Young people don't know how good D Hop used to be.
Oh
Now,
my God.
he's definitely not the same D Hop,
No.
but he has a really terrible situation in Tennessee. I would love to see what he can do with KC.
And he also had a terrible situation in Arizona. So it's like, is he really out of his prime, or is just the quarterbacks he's played with not up to par with what he was used to in that prime Deshaun Watson?
He's recently had a really, really good game. So for me, I could see it happening. But again, older vet, expensive. Is that Veach's style?
It's not his style.
Someone brought up a good point in the group chat that I was in with some of you fellow Chiefs fans. It wasn't Veach's style to pay a player a 4-year extension after they turned 30. And he did that recently with Chris Jones. And it wasn't his style to draft a first-round corner. He did that with Trent McDuffie. So, Veach can surprise us with some new moves.
And like we've always talked about before, this is a 3-peat year. Maybe he's going to go out of his comfort zone to really try and secure this win. Tyler Lockett is a nay from me.
I think it's a nay for me too.
He is just he is the definition of business decision. I feel like I've seen so many compilations.
But don't we need him? Don't we need him to stay a healthy though?
I know we need him to stay healthy, but it's like
K-State kid. This Tyler Lockett.
He is a K-State kid, but
I don't think the Seahawks move on from
him. No.
I saw a Hawks page very angry that I even proposed this because he said the Hawks are still contending right now. They're going to keep everybody. They probably will not move on from Lockett. There was a period of time when they would. Now, probably not as much. This one's fun. I like this one. I saw mocked to the Chiefs in a trade. Kyle Pitts.
Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
Listen, I've been a big hater of everybody saying we need a trade for Kyle Pitts, but that was before Kelsey was struggling a little bit.
But even then, it's like the amount of capital we'd have to give up to get him is just not worth what Kyle Pitts is, dude.
Is it though? I don't know how much they would sell him for. Is this a situation where they sell him for as low as a 4th-round pick at this point?
No way.
They might. He's done nothing for them. He is
right, but I mean that he's tried to. They're going to try and upsell him super hard. I just don't think
that's
it's
true.
Worth it.
Josh Rosen went for a 2nd-round pick, and people forget that. But that was, they sold him early before people really knew how bad he was. Kyle Pitts is a very, very fun decision and will always be a what-if story, but that's probably...
he unfortunately went to the Falcons. So
if it happens for a 3rd, yay. If it happens for a 2nd or 1st,
more, no.
I am not happy with that.
No.
Moving on to a guy I might be happy to acquire from a team that is currently struggling. They're struggling a lot right now. They are terrible. They did beat the Niners, but that doesn't mean much because it's a divisional game.
Man, I feel like the comeback story would be really fun.
He almost looked better in LA since he's left, so he could be good.
I don't know. I just feel like over guys that I would want instead of him, I feel like I'm slightly leaning more nay. I love D-Rob.
I have his signature right there.
Yep. I just, I think I'm slight nay. Very slight.
I'm going to say yay because I actually don't think we need a trade for a wide receiver 1. I think we just need a trade for a wide receiver that's competent. And this is by far the most, solid value guy you can get. So D-Rob, I'm for that in that case. Now we're moving on to the second category. Now we're not in veterans and elite playmakers. This is the, I like to call it the Kadarius Toney category.
The high upside.
These are the players that are young, that were supposed to be super good, that might not be bad, but they just haven't had opportunity to show that. Biggest example, Elijah Moore. I thought he was going to be so good, especially when he was on the Jets going through some really, really great games. He's had 100-yard games before. He could potentially get back to that. Cleveland has him as their wide receiver 3 right now. Cleveland is terrible. They could potentially move on from him. And I think we could get him at a really, really low price. And he is a perfect slot wide receiver that could potentially stick around for a little bit, I like this a lot. But yeah, obviously for cheap.
Yeah, for cheap, yay. If it has to be of anything of value or even minimal value, I'm probably towards nay. But if we can get him for a good price, definitely yay. He's got some good upside. So
next up, another fun
big yay, baby. I'm a big John Metchie guy. I love John Metchie. He's been going through a lot in his short time in his career so far, but he just hasn't had that many opportunities. He got Tank Dell and Nico Collins ahead of him on the Texans,
and Stephon Diggs
now,
and Robert Woods, who We're not even putting on this list. I do not want Robert Woods.
But I'm a big John Metchie guy. I think in an offense like the Chiefs, I think he could explode, especially with the quarterback play. Like, I mean, I'm not to say anything that our boy over in Houston.
Well, he's just not getting chances.
No.
That's the thing. I mean, he was coming back from cancer, so like, that's a hard battle. Chiefs are familiar with supporting players who come back from cancer, like Eric Berry, absolute legend. So this is less of a John Mechie's just never had a shot. Yeah. And it would be really nice to see him take a shot with KC because he would get to play immediately. And I think, this was a good one. Jalin Hyatt, nay for me.
Nay.
Big nay.
Nay.
Nay. Because I know a lot of Chiefs fans were excited about the prospect of potentially getting Jalin Hyatt because, yay, fast guy. But unlike Worthy, Jalin Hyatt is just a fast guy.
He doesn't run routes.
I think this is more of a Mecole Hardman type of player, and we already have a Mecole Hardman type of player in Mecole Hardman. So I think we're fine, and I think Mecole Hardman is actually better than Jalin Hyatt. And I think Mecole Hardman might even have a higher ceiling. I don't know. It's tough to say. But listen, if you're on the Giants who have a disaster class at wide receiver until they got Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson, and he's not getting playing time, and he wasn't getting playing time before, that says a lot. Because Wendell went healthy and Neighbors went healthy, they took all that share immediately. So
I did see this funny post about Neighbors, and it was the clip of Mahomes diving at Rashee's ankles. And somebody said that if Daniel Jones did that to Malik Neighbors, Daniel Jones would be on like every watch list in New York.
That is a pretty funny post.
Pretty funny.
Jonathan Mingo. This is a guy that I have not seen like any NFL thing on. We hardly know what he is, but then it's a similar situation.
I know our buddy Vish, who's a Panthers fan, really hypes him up. But that might just because, he's a Panthers fan. So
Mingo's an Ole Miss wide receiver when they were getting all their hype too, just like Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore, I think, is actually a lot better. But what's been keeping Mingo off the field? Why hasn't Mingo been playing? You saw Leggett get opportunities last week. Those were his first real NFL opportunities, and he excelled immediately. So why hasn't Mingo been able to catch that fire?
I just feel like if you're struggling to find reps on the Panthers, maybe just leave him alone.
Specifically, another guy who falls in that category, Treylon Burks, struggling to get opportunities in Tennessee. This was before they had weapons. Yeah. Now, he got hurt. I remember he had a huge catch like his rookie year, and then he fumbled at like the 1 yard line. And I think he also got injured on that play. So, I mean...
by the way, if we weren't obvious, it was nay on Jonathan Mingo from me.
Nay on Treylon Burks for me. There's a lot of Chiefs fans who want Treylon Burks too, and we've been mocked to trade for him a lot too. And like, I don't see it. I don't see the upside.
I just feel like he's the kind of guy. It's like, could he excel in the Chiefs offense? Yeah. Is it likely? Probably not.
Now we move on. Or we can continue.
I mean, I don't know. I know why a lot of people like him. It's easy to like a 24-year-old receiver who's shown some talent, but it's like, it's just there's so many better options right now. Especially, we don't really need a guy long term. We just need a short term solution.
That's why I'm really hoping Veach does this short term solution thing. Because before, when we traded for KT and Hardman, it was more so. I guess Hardman was the short term solution.
Yeah.
But KT was supposed to be a long term solution. So I don't know. Hard to get in the head of Veach, especially in a situation like this. But he could decide to not trade for anybody because teams are mean and they won't trade their best players to us.
Yeah. Why won't you trade to us when we're going for a three-peat, dude?
So
come on.
How about a Michael Thomas? We were comparing Rashee Rice to Slant Boy.
This is true.
Earlier in the offseason.
He's been out of the league a while.
He does have the memes where he hurt his toe and Pearsall's going to come back quicker after getting shot. But
is that also because he just didn't want to be playing in New Orleans anymore? Not sure.
There's a big Saints account named Who Dat Nation. Shout out to them. We're going to do some collabs this week. They love Michael Thomas, and they are on the side of the player Michael Thomas when it comes to hating the Saints athletic staff and the training staff. Michael Thomas has issues with them. So, maybe he comes in and he probably sees our terrible graded staff, but I feel like they're actually good. But the report card says they suck.
The report card always says it's bad, but I feel like they're just kind of ranting based on the fact that we never really upgrade anything. Gotta love the front office.
This feels like it would be like a Josh Gordon signing when we signed Josh Gordon, just kind of hoping that they had a little bit of the player they used to be. But I think Michael Thomas actually has way more upside than Josh Gordon did.
I think for vet minimum, it's a yay.
I think agree. Vet minimum, yay. Why not? Even stick him in the practice squad. Like
just give him a chance.
What happened to Hunter Renfrow? Why did he get bad all of a sudden?
I feel like he just fell off the face of the earth.
He had an 1,000-yard season. Like, I think he had multiple 1,000-yard seasons. I wish we had our Statman Jackson, but he is not able to find a new home after getting cut by the Raiders.
He was the route master on the Raiders, and he was just the guy that was somehow always open against the Chiefs. It was just the thorn in our side. And
another slot guy that could replace Rice 1-for-1 here with Henry or Hunter Renfrow. Henry Renfrow. No.
My thing is, in my yay or nays, it's like, would you rather have Hunter Renfrow or Michael Thomas?
Ooh. That's a tough one.
I think I'd rather have Michael Thomas. I think I'm going to go a slight nay on Hunter Renfrow.
I would just kind of be, I think this is a meh. I can't even say nay. If we signed him, I'd be like a little bit excited. I can't lie.
I'd be like, okay. But then at the same time, I'd be like, well, who could we have gotten instead?
Yeah.
You know?
What about a Chiefs reunion? You know, we love doing Chiefs reunions. Byron Pringle. Welcome back.
He was just so good with us, and then he left, and he was terrible.
Well, he went to the Bears after us, so you know that tends to happen. But the Commanders actually cut him, and they don't seem to be missing him because they're doing quite electric on offense. So, unfortunately, Byron Pringle's hit the age of 30 already, which is crazy to think about.
That is, I thought he was way younger.
Yeah, Byron Pringle is 30, so this is probably a nay for me. But I mean, the story is cool, and what a Chiefs legend.
He knows. I mean, he probably knows a good amount of the playbook, but I don't know. I'd rather waste time like having somebody learn it than Byron to come back. Look, he gave us some great times back in the day, acting like it was forever ago. But
it was, I feel like. But yeah.
See you later. See you later. Big nay from Pringle.
and then finally, you know, another guy that is available to be signed to an active roster. None other than Kadarius
Toney. Get him out of here.
No, Garrett, but he's better than Sky Moore. We've said that.
I know, but he doesn't fit the role. And we want a guy who can consistently catch the ball, and Kadarius has shown that he's not that guy. So,
you know, we also need a guy who can be healthy because we are lacking anyone.
Oh yes, Kadarius Toney, very well known for staying on the field.
No, that's my point. Yeah, I don't think he would do that. Well, then again, that's kind of Michael Thomas's thing too. So, you know,
I feel like Michael Thomas was just being petty at some point with the Saints organization. He was just like, "Oh man, my toe, it's still hurting, man. It feels so bad." And then everyone's just looking at him in the locker room, just like,
you know, Tony's coach did comment on my post about these wide receivers in which we are now seeing, and he did the like Joker card that Kadarius Toney is known for. So is he
coming back?
I don't think so. I think he's actually getting elevated to the Browns practice squad per rumor of, I think he said that on an Instagram live. So good luck, Toney. I'm wishing you the best.
I think that's all of them, right?
Yeah, that's all of them.
It could be any of these guys. It could also be none of these guys. You know, there could just be a surprise wrench thrown in there, or we could just not get any for some reason. And that's honestly probably the most likely possibility.
There's a lot of other names being thrown out there, like Robert Woods, aforementioned, Darius Slayton.
Really don't want Robert Woods.
I don't want Robert Woods either. But yeah, like,
why are people saying we should get Darius Slayton?
Because he's the one that's not happy being in New York.
God,
but I feel like that's just a lot of people. And also,
that's just New York.
I don't think Slayton plays the role that we need from Rice's vacation or being vacated. So
I guess I have the question, like, who would you be most mad about if that was the guy we went and got?
Ooh, great question. Probably Treylon Burks, low-key. Like,
really?
I was so high on him coming into the draft and immediately started not liking him after just watching highlights of him, plays of him. It seems like he doesn't play at full speed sometimes. It looks like he lost a step after his injury. So I would not like that signing.
I'd be pretty mad if the only guy we got was Pringle. of the
Okay,
guys we
well,
listed.
obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
if
I'm
we were
thinking-
trading for somebody,
yes.
I know
trading for
it's
someone.
okay. I know this sounds like Kyle. If we trade for Kyle Pitts, I'll be so mad
What? I would be happy. I think that'd be fun. I think
because
that would
we'd
mean
have to
that
give
we
up
know
so much,
something.
especially so they're going to be trying to upsell him anyway, and then add on to the fact that it's the Chiefs. We're going to be double charged.
I feel like you said you didn't like Keenan Allen, but would you be more mad?
No,
about that?
I mean I wouldn't want Keenan Allen either. So, that's tough. I probably Keenan Allen.
No, because I think as long as it's a vet wide receiver, we know what we're getting. So honestly, I'd be happy to see Veach for once make a vet wide receiver move, even if it is Tyler Lockett or Keenan Allen. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Treylon Burks. I would not really want him at all. Honestly, Mingo too, but both of those are kind of in the same little. Ooh, I don't know how much my
Some tough decisions here, Veach. Hopefully you make the right one.
But yeah, I think we're actually going to clip this as a separate video on the channel. So leave a comment below if you have any suggestions for wide receivers the Chiefs should trade for.
True.
If you think we're fine with who we have, or if you have
really any comment in general,
or if you have a suggestion of someone else that you think we could get. But as always, we're going back to the episode. You can watch the full episode.
This is true. We're cutting to the other episode.